What can I say? I won't give it up.
What's up, everybody? My name is Brian Chartrand. I'm a singer-songwriter based in Phoenix, Arizona, and I started a podcast called So the Story Goes with Brian Chartrand. It's a podcast that connects with creatives, mainly creatives here in Phoenix, but also international touring artists, names that you definitely will recognize. And we talk about everything from pop culture to music to art, how they stayed creative during the pandemic. It's a lot of fun, especially if you love music, and I know you do. I'm also old friends with your dear friend, Boomer. I hope you check out So the Story Goes. I think you'll dig it. You can find it at Apple Podcasts, on Amazon. Join us for the next conversation. We're celebrating 100 episodes. Thanks for listening.
You got to make a reservation. It's very difficult to get in.
Well, it's okay. I'll use the service entrance. I'll see you at 9.
Welcome
And bienvenidos
to another episode of Service Entrance, people. I am Boomer.
And I am Pixie. Hola.
Hola, Pixie. Hey there.
Hi there.
Ho there. For those of you who are new to the show, just jumping in, this podcast is for and about the gritty, underpaid, underprivileged service industry workers of the world.
Unite.
We have clearly made some wrong turns in our lives because no matter what, we've ended up here. In jobs where no matter our talents, our arts, our skills, we deal with the infamous Karens and Florida mans.
Florida man.
Florida men's. And Mr. and Mrs. Von Uppity on a daily basis. Day in and day out, we walk through the parking lot of broken dreams, and we enter through that specially marked door. Pixie, you know the one.
The service entrance door.
That's the door. If you are interested in listening and sharing in the war stories of the industry, or if you're curious as to what us,
the help,
are really thinking, we are going to share with you stories of the strange, shocking, and hilarious. Because we know this, no matter what the deal is, laughing is the only way to make it through.
Absolutely. This industry is one that we absolutely do love. And although you'll hear us talk about all of the things we hate.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
Hate love and love hate.
Stupidness.
And yes, rants and bitching that we have to work at work.
Which is bullshit.
We kid because we care. There's nothing else we would rather be doing except maybe
this here podcast.
Exactamundo.
Also, please do us a favor. If we're not for you, if we're not your specific cup of brandy, do us a favor and listen anyway. Hate listen, rage listen, binge listen. Heckle us, because we know that the only thing that's better on this planet than a good horror movie is a terrible horror movie or movie. And as we have come up with the phrase that pays, press play and walk away. That's right. If you don't like us, just fucking hit that play button. Go do something else. Drink a beer. Talk to your parents.
Leave
have
it on
sex,
for your pets.
Let your kittens listen to it when you go out for work. We don't care. Just give us the spins that we need to help building our empire.
The spins?
Yes.
On
Again,
the radio.
I'm on the radio. I'm going to call the internet and ask them to watch my radio program. That's all going to be happening sometime soon.
Fantastic.
One last disclaimer. This show, like the things and industries that we cover, it contains some spicy fucking language.
Ay, 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 muy caliente.
Please be forever forewarned.
Fuego.
Make sure that you are doing us a few small favors in your life. Listen to us, subscribe us, and share. Share our show. Rate it, review it 5 stars, 1, 2, 3, something, and then 5 stars.
Press that predictive text button 5 times. Let it do the work for you.
Help us move up those charts and get to live out our dream, which is doing a rage quit.
And also doing this professionally.
Exactly. Rage quitting and then getting to do this as our only thing to do. And I am foreshadowing an episode down the line. I'm just throwing that out there. That's why I'm using those words.
You're positing.
I am, yes. But please, help us build the Service Entrance People network.
And how can they do that, Boomer?
Pixie, I'm glad you asked me that.
Oh, yeah?
That's a really good question.
Well, share.
One of the things they can do is share stories with us via email, serviceentrancepeople@gmail.com. Super duper simple. Or, if you don't like writing things down, leave us a voicemail, 854-345 855-7721. Something crazy happened at work today. You're driving home, you see something stupid, call us.
You see something, you say something.
Exactly. Say something to us.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say something to anybody important, but say it to us.
Yeah.
That's all that
The
we're looking out for.
non-important.
Exactly. There is not a single person that will answer, by the way, when you call the voicemail. The phone's dead.
All automated.
It is completely automated. Just leave us a fun story. Help us out. It'll be great. Pixie, but there's more.
Is there more?
There
Tell me.
is. Well, they can go to patreon.com/service entrance people and become a producer of the show. That's right. Multiple different levels, the Karen, the Florida Man, the Von Uppity. You get free stuff with every single tier.
Free merch?
You get access to bonus episodes, which new bonus episode up now, which is Jeffrey Dahmer, the food critic.
Oh, super cool.
Yes. And you get your name, if you are a Von Uppity, an executive producer, you get your name said at the very end of our program.
So lovingly, so said.
We say it so good. But there's more, Pixie. You jump in on this one.
Well, if you don't want to make the full commitment.
Yes, like I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
Yeah, there you go. So if you just want to donate a one-time donation, it could be, just a small little, like the price of a cup of coffee at PayPal at Service Entrance Peeps. Donate it there and just, do that.
$1 or $1 million, it doesn't matter. Help us keep those puppies alive. Just imagine us with Sarah McLachlan playing in the background, working on making a better studio.
And also holding puppies.
And holding puppies and the cat interns.
Yeah.
And don't forget, you can watch, air quotes, our YouTube channel, YouTube, which is at Service Entrance People.
Yeah, it has closed captions in case you can't hear stuff. Like me,
Exactly.
because I'm old, so I put them on the TV all
And,
the time.
You can also, of course, Facebook and Instagram. We'll tell you more about that later because, as Pixie likes to say, you know how to social media.
Yeah, everybody does.
But, Pixie, we now come to the most important one.
Absolutely.
Lead us to the promised land.
The next part of our show here that is highly, highly sponsorable.
So sponsorable.
Can't stress it enough.
So high.
Is our shifty of the week.
So I guess that means it is time to lock the doors.
Mm-hmm.
Crank up the tunes.
Absolutely.
And crack open this week's Shifty of the Week. Pixie, do you want to go first or should I?
As to what I'm drinking?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm drinking a sour.
Okay. You love your sours.
I do. I ticker back and forth. I've been doing these ciders, sour, cider, sour. So,
Iceberg, Goldberg.
yeah, exactly. This cider is a Southern Grits with passion fruit.
Yes.
It comes from Nashville, Tennessee at 6.5 ABV. 6.5.
Nice on the ABV. And we have some nice listeners up in Nashville.
Oh,
So,
well, cheers to you, Nash.
Cheers to you guys. Nice.
There we go.
Pixie.
There we go.
Awesome. Actually, friend of the show, Angie Aparo, lived in Nashville for a while when he was, writing hit songs for famous people.
Cool.
Yeah. So little of that there. All right, mine, I'm going to stay regionally with one of my two, for the love of Christ, please sponsor us, breweries. And I'm going to go to my friends at Liability Brewing Company, Greenville, South Carolina. And we are going to drink a Look Mom, No Hands.
Hey there, Liability.
Hey, guys. It is, what do we got here? 6.0 alcohol by volume. So, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you got that all over the floor.
I got it juicily. That's
It's down your hand.
it's gonna be in my beard this entire episode. I'm just gonna be reeking of delicious Liability Look Mom No Hands throughout this entire recording
like the
process.
Name totally suits it.
You mean because I can't use my hands? Oh, so good. All right, now having done all of that, I believe it's time to really get into the heart of the matter, to get into this week's episode.
Let's dig in.
Okay. So, episode 28.
Wow, we're here already. 28.
20 freaking 8 is entitled Second Thought, Don't Want Nobody, Baby. Now, as you remember, we are in Customer Appreciation Month, the month of April. Last week's episode was If I Can't Have You, I Don't Want Nobody, Baby, which was all about our great guests.
Yes,
which
people we really appreciate.
I need to do a huge apology on this because my brain is stupid.
What'd you do?
Well, we told the story last week about the guy who came into the restaurant that I worked at with Chef Hope.
Oh,
who
yeah,
they would,
yeah.
Right. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm not bright.
But you're pretty.
I'm very pretty, and I'm
wait.
very stupid. My memory is shit. So I cannot believe that I forgot that the man's name who
Yes.
comes in every week,
Saying make me whatever.
right, and who, I forgot this, has a sandwich named after him on the freaking
Oh.
menu,
Boomer, what the hell, dude?
and his name is Super Dave.
That's a great name. Awesome.
And I couldn't remember Super Dave.
It makes me think of the band Super Bob.
It makes me just think of Super Dave Osborne. May he rest in peace.
Cheers.
Yeah. The guy who played Super Dave Osborne
Mhm.
was Marty Funkhauser on Curb Your Enthusiasm
Oh, okay, yeah.
and was actually Albert Brooks's brother, which I didn't know
I didn't know
until
that either.
very, very late in the game right before he died.
I found that out just now.
I don't know. I'm
Would you
sorry,
look
Super
at
Dave.
that?
Yeah. First of all, I'm sorry, Super Dave. That sucks that I forgot that. And second of all, I miss Funkhauser.
Well, who doesn't?
Everybody should.
Everybody should.
So, yes. So this week's episode, building off the back of all of those guests that we love so much that we wouldn't be able to get through without the wonderful repeat customers, this week is more about the strange behaviors of some of our guests. The weird shit that they do, the stuff that frustrates us, the stuff that makes us look at every other worker in the restaurant and go up to them at some point individually and be like, oh my God, did you see that? I can't believe they did that. Blah, 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 blah. And then you do that 17 times, one for every staff member, because you're like, I can't freaking believe this. And then everybody has to be told.
It's not just that, though. I mean, you could be anywhere and you look at someone and you're like, why is this person, what is wrong with you? Do you see? Do you see what's happening?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I feel like it's a very restaurant-y or retail-y thing where it's like we have to tell that story
Yeah.
then to every person we come across, finding any way to start it. Like,
Because we're locked inside with no natural light.
it's like, oh,
It's the only thing we have.
I have these new shoes. Check out my new shoes. Oh, never mind that. You should have heard what this guest did yesterday.
He took a shit in a shoe.
Oh my God, there wasn't even a shoe involved. It was just the toilet. But I'm just saying, like, we manufacture reasons to talk about this shit to each other. It's crazy. But what's really crazy is the specifics of some of these stories. So, am I leading? Am I going to go here?
You can if you want.
So one of the things that we came across when we were doing our review episode,
Yes.
our bad reviews of places we've worked, which, again, foreshadowing, because we're going to come back to that in a few episodes. We're going to come back to that. One of the things that we had gone through was there was a review, I believe it was about you,
Yeah, it was about me.
talking
The most delightful person.
super Pixie positive. For the love of crap. You're adorable.
It's not that. It's that I could see me being shitty to a customer, but what they claimed
Yeah.
was that this is the entirety of the review. The hostess, this is me, Pixie, was mean and rude to other coworkers.
Right. Which,
I was like, what the fuck?
and like you said, there was nothing about the restaurant,
I've
nothing
never
about the
gotten
food,
into a spat
nothing about the
with
service,
any coworker.
nothing that you
No.
did to that woman.
I know, but I've never
I know. I'm just-
mentally, like,
right.
I would have been ashamed to go to work if I'd ever fought with a coworker. I am so not good at confrontation, and I can tell you, I have never had a spat with a coworker. So what this person witnessed had to be me and this person being hilarious, but from the sideline was so not hilarious.
Which really, I don't even think it's that. I don't think it's about the hilariousness. It's about the fact that people who don't work in certain situations don't know how other people in other jobs relate to each other.
Ah, okay.
So there's a whole thing. Like, there's a whole thing with sports ball where everybody thinks that, like, if you're on a team, everybody loves each other on the team, and they're
Not
all
true.
friends, and they go
Not
hang
true.
out, and the coach who says, gosh darn, in the press conferences is, like, a good, upstanding guy and never curses.
He's not?
Right, no. Meanwhile, they're, like, punching each other out in the locker room. Coach is calling them a bunch of fucking cunts. Like, it's disgusting.
that word.
You do, I know. You use it so much. You use it like hello.
I do.
So it's that is, how those people relate to each other.
Yes.
And restaurant people especially relate to each other in fucked up ways.
Yeah, we're
and we
so
say,
lewd.
Okay, yesterday, for example, we were trying to have our servers, 3 of them, do a rotation. So one person goes, then the next person takes a table, then the next person takes a table.
3 grown men
3.
trying to rotate.
3 of them. One of them who is a parent, one of them who is about to be a parent, and one of them who is old enough to be a parent by a lot.
Apparently. Can't do a 3-person rotation.
So we're like, okay, so you can't handle this. So we're going to make a piece of paper, and we're literally going to write down columns. And underneath each person's name, we're going to write the table number that you're taking. So that way you can say, well, I just had 54, and he's now going to have 12 because that's the next one set. And then so again, holding hands.
There's whole lines.
It's
they're
a
connected.
grid. It's a fucking grid.
So underneath your name, and then with the line that's the time.
Right. Yeah. It's
What
4:15, and I
period?
sat this person, and it's going to you. Super. Again, I was so proud that I came up with that. Let me just say, off book, like I came up with this brilliant little spreadsheet that made me so happy because I'm a fucking restauranting genius. And then these 3 assholes come along, and now. The amazing part of it was I would overhear them talking, and I would overhear them say, well, he's got this one, and then I've got that one, and then he's going to go, and then I'm like, so 4 moves down the line.
Yeah.
What you think you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
However, they couldn't get the rotation. They fought over tables. They fought over, but they said I had this one. No, they didn't. They said I had this one. No, we walked up to the server and said, this table is your table, and then we wrote it down for them. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, we didn't trust them to write down the numbers, so we actually took it upon ourselves to write it down.
One server gave up his table to another server,
and it
wasn't even his table to give up.
It wasn't even his table. That was beautifully done.
So all of this is going on, and I am fluctuating between manager anger, between boomer snark, and legitimately trying to find a real way to get them to not fuck this up. And so I got frustrated to the point where on the grid, on the time periods that had passed, I took my Sharpie and I wrote, eat a cock. Because I was so frustrated that they couldn't follow a me, then you, then another guy, then me. Like, all you have to know is if the guy before me has a table, I'm getting the next one. Or even not that. Or even I'm going to pay attention to the tables I am servicing. And when a manager tells me, you have this table, then you have this table. Couldn't do it. So, yes, I wrote eat a cock very, very large on this tablet paper thing. And what I realized before I left for the night is that I wrote it absolutely in an area
where small children can read it,
where any guest that's walking to the bathroom can see. So I tried to gussy it up, and I turned the C to like the ugliest R you've ever seen. So
where
it said
it's still
eat.
Obviously eat a cock,
but it looks like eat a rock.
Oh
But that's how and nobody got mad at, like, nobody's legitimately angry, right? Like, none of that.
Could I tell a little side story?
Flavor.
This is my family history here.
I'll be the steak, you be the sizzle.
So my mother and I have an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, she's a peach.
And she's a peach cone, Bob.
She's a peach cone.
We went on a trip, and this included my sister, who was recently on this aggressive weight loss program where she lost like 70 pounds.
But did she do it angrily? Was she aggressive at the weight?
It was one of the things where if you don't eat every couple of like minutes, you become just a rageaholic. She was addicted to rageahol.
She was filled with rageahol. Not calories, but rageahol. Okay.
Absolutely.
0 calorie rageahol.
And then I had my cousin who was also there, who was newly pregnant, but she was pregnant with this also horrible nausea that, I mean, any sort of motion or talk, and she would vomit. The smell of boiling water would make her vomit. So it was just really crazy. So you had one who was pukey, one who was hungry and snarky, and then you had me and my mother.
One who was Pixie.
And Pixie was with my control freak of a mother, who I actually went out and got my license to drive on the opposite side of the road when we were on the opposite side of the pond. However, my mother, being the control freak again, could not let me drive. At one point, she went to go make a left-handed turn, and I said, you realize if you do this, you turn directly into traffic. And she paused, put her hand on my arm, and said, thank you. I appreciate that, because that's exactly what I was going to do.
There you go.
But still, she wouldn't let me drive.
Wow.
So any point to and from a destination, we would scream at each other because she wanted me to hold the GPS facing her so she could look at it, but also tell her exactly where to turn.
Nice.
So I can't see the screen, yet I'm supposed to know. And it's going back and forth, and our voices are getting higher and higher and higher because this is what's going on. I have my mother screaming at me, so I'm screaming back. I'm in a foreign land.
And that fucking GPS probably had a woman's voice and was being all bitchy about it too, wasn't she? Like holier than thou, like turn left now, like fuck you, right? I nailed it, didn't I?
It was like, yeah, turn left at the roundabout.
Fuck you, lady.
Merge left on the motorway. So
You're a fucking motorway.
By the end of this, so my mom and I are screaming and shaking. We get out of the car, though, and we're fine. So midway through the trip, my sister goes, well, with you and Pixie arguing all the time. And my mother looked at her and goes, we haven't been arguing. And I looked at her and I go, no, we haven't been arguing. And then I realized later, she must have been so confused because we were screaming at each other the entire. But that's how we converse.
Exactly.
It's how we communicate.
Exactly.
And in restaurants, same thing.
Like, I have a thing with our kitchen manager where I will say in the middle of the dining room, like, sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
And that's me being like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, sorry, boomer. And then he'll drop the F-bomb because he gets to be in the kitchen, so he gets to say that. But so, again, like, you don't know how people at a given occupation actually speak to each other. So unless you see, like, full-on tears, you're not in a position to comment on how these two people, or swinging, or a blade, or...
I do tell people that they're, like, gorgeous idiots, and it's said so lovingly. Like, I'm like, you gorgeous idiot, you. It's not the idiot part that I'm emphasizing. It's the gorgeous part. Like, you're so beautiful, you can't possibly be bright. It's really me just trying to sugarcoat and smooth down the situation that you fucked up. We'll fix it, but I saw it, you saw it, you fucked up.
I absolutely do the thing where I slap people on the ass.
Okay, that's not appropriate.
Like
in the
dudes,
workplace.
not chicks.
No,
but like,
still,
right.
It's not okay. It's not okay.
But it's a thing that we understand, and I get that if somebody sees it.
Oh, absolutely. Honestly, I've passed by kitchen staff and we've totally done the, oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh, so tight here. Oh, my table.
It's not table.
My table.
So I don't know. Again, unless you see like overt violence or tears, you don't know how people interact at work. And this is really just a 20-minute way of saying we're shitty with each other, but we do it out of love.
We love each other. At the end of the night, we all have a beer and we laugh.
Yeah.
I may have brandished a shucking knife at a kitchen expo guy, but it's totally okay.
I've absolutely
cool.
seen swinging. Like people swinging each other, and then at the end of the night...
Oh, yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, so...
It's over. The crowd is left.
You don't
Everything's
know.
Chilled out.
Fucking leave it be.
Yeah.
Is all we're saying. So, okay. Moving from that, there is...
Let's move far away from this heated topic.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Not talk about people like coming back with screwdrivers or anything like that. A phenomena that you and I have recently become aware of.
Do, 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 do.
Phenomenon.
Do, 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 do.
Is people doing video calls in restaurants during their meals.
What is up with that?
Which is super duper odd. Now, there's the part of me that wants to, like, boomer positive this.
That's sweet.
And
you
be
want to
like,
share a
right.
meal with someone far away.
Exactly. So
time and place, though. Time
right.
and place.
Let's put that to a side. Let's put the good things aside and let's talk the shit. Okay.
Let's just
talk
about
shit right
how
now.
you're terrible.
What the fuck? Like,
yeah,
you're in a public space. right?
And the phone is turned way
all
up.
the way up, and you're yelling because they're yelling.
And you're yelling because there's a restaurant, which they're yelling at because they can't hear you over the entirety of the dining room.
And you're sitting there screaming at Grandpa Bob as you're going through eating your burger.
And you're talking about
your
the burger that you're eating.
And I've heard some weird shit though. I've heard people go way off brand with it. So I don't get it. It's my father, my poor father, who gets mad at me for wearing a hat indoors. I couldn't imagine one sitting at the table.
Oh, I turned my phone off.
With taking a phone call around my father, much less being out to a restaurant and taking a video call and then keeping the video call up during the meal.
They actually propped it on their table.
Oh, yeah.
They
No, it
propped
was
it amongst the condiments.
I legit feel like he would either spontaneously combust or finally murder me if I did that.
I think if he saw someone else doing it, he would take the phone and throw it. And then I would applaud.
I think he would spontaneously combust. I think that would be too much for him and be like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out. Boom. And just explode.
Just all decorum lost.
Now, but it's not just guests that we've seen that. Now, this whole video thinging is super weird. And the phones.
It's catching on.
One of the employees in our place will have a video conversation with his girlfriend the entirety of his shift.
Yes. And he takes her, and there's a part of me, again, who I see it the way you see it. Right. It's very sweet.
Yep.
In that he takes her around the entire restaurant to show her what is going on. But the other side of me is like, are you that much of a controlling nut bar that you need your boyfriend to leave his kitchen job to walk around the entirety of the restaurant to show you just how busy it is?
Or have you fucked up that bad that your girlfriend
doesn't
is
trust
like, I don't fucking believe you that you're going to work.
Yeah.
Show me how long you're there. Either way, that's bad on both ends.
All I know is I've totally seen her like munching on snacks and talking to him while she's at work. So they're both at work doing the call at the work.
You know what? I will say this though.
You know what else I've seen is the this is priceless. The selfies.
Can I just hold on?
Yeah.
We should probably say we are now officially into the old man
What's
shaking
going wrong
fist
with the
at the
world?
cloud
Yes.
portion of this week's show is that we're just going to complain about cell phones. So go for it.
Absolutely.
That's okay. It's on us. We're owning it.
Modern technology. This is all I'm
God
saying.
Damn
though,
you.
is that it's a time and place thing. So I had this couple that, I mean, they're young, they're attractive. That's great. You want to take photos together. That's awesome. I'm glad that Aunt Sally wants to take your photo in the aisleway of the fucking restaurant, but don't do it when you know that people are walking about. Why don't you go by our lovely water feature or stand somewhere that is not in the center of the aisleway of the dining room?
Right. So that was the issue, is that there was the people standing there in the thoroughfare in the middle of the dining room as you were trying to seat people.
Yes.
And they weren't doing the whole, oh, well, there's people coming through, so let me stop and then I'll regroup.
Oh, no.
They were like, okay,
Even
train
better.
can wait.
Even better.
We're going through.
It was not a once, but twice. And then I think a thrice where I
3 times made it.
Exactly. So I walk the couple through that I'm seating. I have to walk past this couple, to which they are definitely like, I don't give a shit that you're behind me right now, because Brian and I are taking an adorable photo.
Don't care.
Exactly. I walk the couple through, and then as I'm trying to come back, I am front facing them. So it is my eyes making contact with their eyes, knowing I still have to go this way.
Well, the eyes have it.
And they're like, fuck you, lady, you can wait. And then I go back to take another couple back. And again, it's a single aisle way. And they're like, yep, still standing here, still taking a photo. I almost want to yell at the kitchen to like bring their food out and just set it atop their heads. Atop your heads.
I saw, a couple days ago, I guess it must have been, the kids standing in the doorway doing duck face selfies with a line going out the door. Nope, you can't come in because Betsy and I are making fucking duck face selfies.
I have a question for you. Is there a male duck face? I know the ducktail hairstyle.
A mallard face? It's a mallard face.
Is it a mallard
I believe
face?
that's what it's called. It's a mallard face. I don't...
Fuck you for having an answer.
Oh, mother shit. Now...
Speaking of ducks.
Yes. let's talk about happy hour. But seriously, though, happy hour.
Yeah.
People love it. It's great.
Do you know where it started?
At 4 p.m.
I can actually tell you where happy hour started.
Ooh. Everybody gather around the learning tree.
Yep. This is what we're here for. We say we're educational, too. This is one of those things. So pay attention now. Pixie's telling you a story.
Eyes are
Listen.
up here.
Yeah, the eyes have it. So it was the 20th century. It started actually 1914 with the U.S. Navy. And
In the Navy.
Yeah, they were getting off the ships. And it was them having a little bit
Shore
of
leave.
a little bit of relaxing time,
Yep,
a little downtime.
Where they banged all the fucking streetwalkers in fucking Manhattan.
Okay, I'm not getting into what they were banging. All I'm saying is that these
So
men
much VD.
were not paid a lot.
Mhm.
So what they did was people would try to drum up business by saying, oh, from this time to this time, when these men happen to be ashore, is when we have our specials. And that would be from 4 to 6. Now it goes from 4 to 6 and sometimes from 5 to 7, Monday through Friday, so you can let a little loose after a busy work day.
Now, did you know that in the state that we work in, there are specific hour limitations for how long you can run happy hour?
No, I did not.
Yes. You are only allowed to run certain hours and certain amount of specials. So you can't do...
Fascinating.
Right. So it's like if something is printed on the menu, let's say, right? You can't do I believe, like 2 for 1, like with a drink special.
Because they'll spontaneously combust?
Exactly. But you can do, if it's a specialty off the book menu item, then you can get creative in how you can price it. And you can do the whole, like, buy one, get one for $1 type of a thing.
Okay,
But you can't do that when it comes to actual, and this is more for the alcohol type stuff is what I'm talking about. So
well, that makes sense because it's like a safety issue too.
Yeah, exactly. Because, but you can only do it for a certain number of hours each day.
Okay.
And for most places, as you and I were talking about, happy hour winds up being like Monday through Friday, like you said, 4 to 6, 5 to 7, 3 to 5 if you're trying to get the early crowd in.
I've heard of certain places that only do it at certain areas in the restaurant.
That's
like
true.
You can only have it at the bar. I
worked at a place that it was only at the bar area, and holy hell, does that get blowback?
Yeah, because then it's
the
congested.
the people sitting down that want to have the specials, and you're like, no, you have to be at the bar. And they're like, but the bar is packed. And they're like, well, fuck you then. Yeah. Like, that sucks. So for us, our place that we are employed at, that we work at in the restaurant where we work, is Monday through Friday, 4 to 6.
Absolutely.
So what happens on the weekends, Pixie?
Well, when I'm asked, I say Saturdays and Sundays are for the Lord.
Fair.
When they ask me, I'm like, they go
Saturdays.
They go Saturdays, and I'm like, yeah, Jews.
The Hebrews and the Christians. It's one for everybody. Now, people get pissed though. That's the thing.
They do. They get irrationally
people get righteously angry.
Like Pitbull.
Yes.
They get irrationally angry.
Featuring Ludacris.
When they're not talking about boats and hoes in motel rooms, they're angry.
I'll try to explain to people that, like, we're regular happy on the weekends. Like, we have to manufacture our happy Monday through Friday, but once you hit the weekend, you should just be happy the entire time so you don't get a happy hour.
Yeah, go find yourself some cocaine and cheer up, bitch.
Like a grown-up. But people, we have seen people physically yell and scream that there isn't a weekend happy hour.
Absolutely. I am astounded that a grown person, usually people who are older than I am, have a full-blown tantrum over the lack of reduced prices on alcohol.
Listen, if I can't pay $4 for my Bud Light instead of $5 for my Bud Light, I'm going to fucking lose my goddamn shit on you.
It's not even top shelf alcohol.
No.
Like, the top shelf, you're going to pay top shelf prices.
Right. It's $1 off.
So why are you bitching?
I like when they, like, huff away, like, storm away, and like, well, fine then. You're going to lose my business.
Where you leave, there are 5 more to replace you.
But again, we're fighting over $1 a beer here. Like, are
I'll dig out some change in my car for you.
For really? Like, for really? This is the hill with which upon you choose to die. Like, what are you doing? Unbelievable.
You know who enjoys a Bud Light?
Who?
A cowboy. You know who enjoys a Bud Light even more, though?
Oh, I don't know.
A woman in a
There
cowboy
you
hat.
go. Topical political humor.
It's true, though.
No. And when we're talking, though, about the cowboy hats,
Yeah, I know.
We've seen some shit.
I know.
we've seen some shit.
It's shameful and embarrassing.
There was...
You're an embarrassment to the hat.
Yeah. Let's preface this. One of the things that we have seen as far as strange guest behavior, and we've talked about on the show, is the folks that will, go to seat themselves,
Yes.
folks that will go and rearrange tables.
Yeah, you
like,
didn't get
'cause,
permission.
I'm doing a thing. Or I don't know how many people we're going to have in our party, but it's going to be a fluctuating number party.
I like when they tell you it's a set number and then you just see like double that.
Yeah. We
shuffle on through.
There was a group. I can't even, it was, Jesus.
It started off with one woman.
It was a gang.
One solo woman led to a gang.
Like an entire chapter of a fucking white, rich Jackson Hole vacationing gang.
It was very peculiar.
Like whatever the opposite of a motorcycle gang is, it was that.
Again, you're an embarrassment to the hat.
It was just awful. So they came in and it started with there was going to be like 8. And
yes,
then,
I remember 8 being the starter number.
And then, but we may go up to like 12. Then all of a sudden, and I honestly, this is one of those things where like I smelled sulfur and 4 minutes later something completely different was happening and I had no fucking clue and it had taken over my body.
Truly nefarious things went down.
So we pushed 2 tables together to accommodate the 8. And then the table next to them, which was unoccupied at one point, was then occupied with people
that
from
were
nowhere.
Also from this party?
Yes. They had honestly sprouted up from the floor into that table. Then
So they weren't sat by your hostess then?
No. And at first I'm like, who the fuck are those people? Did the hostess seat those people? Because I'm the guy on that and I get super uppity on that. No, they're with those people. How can they be with those people? I just sat those people. No, they just came in. Then there was another table next to them that had filled up. Same way, from the ground up.
What?
Then, apparently, unbeknownst to me, out the outside bar, 8 more people showed up out of the
Wait
ether.
a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
Not the original 8.
Not the original 8.
Another
not the
8.
Not the 8 that sat in 2 other tables. A third 8. So that's 8, 16, 17, 19, 24 now.
You had to do that on your
I
fingers?
did have to do that. University of Massachusetts. So 24 now.
24.
On 3 different regions of the restaurant.
That takes it. We have a tiny restaurant.
We do. It gets better.
That's a good portion of our restaurant.
It gets better. Then one of them comes up to me and is like, hey, I know we're at this table, but can 4 of our people move to that table? To which I tried to do the whole politely explaining that this is across multiple different servers as regions, and you've already ordered your drinks from this one server, but now you want to order your food from another. Like, we're getting confusing here.
Yes.
Didn't deter them. They moved 2 separate times after that. And then we're like, well, we've just decided to go outside. So when our food gets here, will you just bring it to the outside bar?
Okay. So for you people who don't know how to restaurant, and this is no, this is common. Like, why would you know? When there is at least 20 of you, that is an event. Most restaurants, you have now booked an event, and you would be charged for booking an event.
Yeah, way extra.
Because we need to accommodate you with a proper amount of staff just for you.
Right.
Just for your party.
Kitchen has to be aware.
So this is why everybody gets upset, is because you're affecting the kitchen, you're affecting the servers, you're affecting management, and the hostess doesn't know what the hell is going on, and she's being screamed at because you all came out of nowhere.
And now there's no tables, and the table that you thought was open now isn't open.
And everything's dirty because you kept picking up your glasses and moving from table to table.
Correct.
So, yeah.
So this then lasts, they were there for over 3.5 hours. Okay, they used it, I shit you not, as a way station. I kept count. The rotating number that of people that were attached to that group at some point.
Yes.
43.
Holy shit.
And
that's
just
2 times an event.
Just horrid. Now, the crazy thing about all of that is that this is not the first time that almost exact situation happened.
Okay.
You had one not too long ago that was this almost exact same thing.
Yeah, you were there for that. There was a lady who was there with her beer during a particular local band, cover band.
Woo!
It's one of your favorites, I know. And she had a rotating party. This one was of various colors and ages.
It was...
She's more inclusive.
United Colors of Benetton party.
Yeah, she was an inclusive alcoholic. And so she started off one lady solo with her solo cup of probably Bud Light.
Woo!
That then brought on a party of 8, that then brought on a party of 16. And oddly enough, they took up the same side of the restaurant. But that's not what really connects them, though.
Okay, what connects them?
You remember, what was the one wearing on Easter?
So the one...
The real noticeable thing.
The one that should have been my signal that this was going to be a fuck?
What was your signal?
The hat?
Yes.
The lighted hat?
Yes.
The red cowboy hat with LED lights that she could switch to make them flash like a strokey anime.
Absolutely. The one that stopped an entire rodeo.
Literally, she told the story that she was super proud of how when they were vacationing in Jackson Hole and they went to the rodeo that one time, the rodeo announcer came on the PA to ask the lady in the flashing red hat to make the lights stop because it was distracting the rodeo.
Yeah, you stopped an entire rodeo, a stadium. A stadium stopped for you.
You know the only fucking excuse for that?
You shouldn't be proud of it.
Is that it's your first rodeo.
Nice. Very nice. This one also had a cowboy hat. However, it was not as flashy. Get it?
I do.
It was one of those shitty straw ones that's like a Buena Vista fucking I'm on vacay.
Oh, God.
Yeah, with her curly red hair. Yeah, one of those.
Yikes.
Exactly.
Now, just to get off the subject completely.
I knew you'd do this.
Yeah, you did. So one of the great things about our beloved Pixie, one of her soft spots
Shut up.
is her love for anything cowboy hatted.
Yeah, I also
Anything.
like fringe, but yeah, I'm a cowboy hat connoisseur. I do love them. And I do have a quick story.
Like, I've seen you be like, I know that man is physically assaulting 2 young children
But
and
he's got
eating
a
a baby.
great hat.
But look at the hat.
He's got a great hat.
Yeah.
I totally want that hat.
Yep.
So that's me. Well, I was partying in my local area of Jensen Beach, Florida, when I was in my early 20s, and I was shithoused at my buddy Jimmy's father's bar,
Yeah, Florida.
within walking distance of my boyfriend Scott's house. So
Sure.
naturally, we got shit hammered at the bar, and we could walk home. How great. Being safe. Yay. So we shut down the bar with Jimmy obviously like drunk puking in the bathroom, which his father would find later. I think he locked himself in there. Stumbled my way home, but apparently I woke up on the couch the next morning with just my cowboy hat and my boots on with my socks, like socks, boots, cowboy hat, completely naked and covered in a like lovely sheet. Somehow I managed to take my pants off around my boots.
Wow.
And what I was told by Scott's mother was that there was a nice trail of clothing leading over to the couch.
Like turd droppings.
I Hansel and Gretel
Hansel
my
and
way.
Gretel'd your fucking clothing.
My drunken self onto the couch, which she lovingly, like a proper mother, covered me up so I wouldn't be nude when I woke up in the morning. I would have a nice sheet across me.
Your mom would have thrown you out of the house.
I think she would have just thrown cold ice water on me and been like, go clean the horse stalls.
There you go. Jesus. Let's go ahead and try to wind down this shenanigan fest here. We have an email from a listener, Genera.
Oh, thank you, Genera.
In Maryland?
Yep.
All right. I only write down half of the things sometimes.
It's okay. I have you on the rest.
Genera writes, I was behind a woman in line at a store where she was checking out. She has a ridiculous number of coupons on her app and was giving the cashier a hard time. Because obviously, Meanwhile, her toddler had pulled off his pants and diaper. I'm surprised this wasn't in Florida.
Was he shit covered?
He had a cowboy hat and cowboy boots on, and that was it. It was very strange.
Pulled off his diaper, but left the boots on.
Everything else, though. He was
Fuck you.
standing there, naked from the waist down, completely fascinated by his penis. I mean...
Because what
Yeah.
young boy isn't?
What middle-aged boys?
What is this thing?
This was over 5 minutes that the mom never noticed the kid
Oh my God.
playing with her words, personal worry stone.
Oh my God, he was rubbing it. Yuck.
I would have said his ding-a-ling. Did a little Chuck Berry action on that. I ended up leaving the store, never saw how it turned out.
Wow.
You want to talk about blue balls? I need to know the end of that story, Genera.
I'm glad she actually emailed because she contacted us on Facebook at Service Entrance People Podcast.
Woot.
Sent us in a message saying she saw a guy once lick his phone screen, like took his phone, brought it up to his lips, licked the entirety of the screen, and then rubbed it on his pants.
Sure.
Which, why not?
That's weird.
But I can top that.
Not the rubbing, the licking is weird. There was a basketball player named Harold Miner who used to rub the basketball with his nose.
That's strange.
Yeah.
Was it like a smell thing?
No,
Or-
he would like cats do.
Oh, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
That's a weird behavior.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. That's the only thing I
That's
remember about
all
Harold
right.
Miner.
So I have one to top that, though. And this one really astonished me because the man paid for the privilege of this weirdness. I had a host who had ordered her meal to go because obviously you don't eat during your fucking shift if you're there for half the day.
No.
So she was being a good girl.
Yep.
Put in for her meal to go, which was to go shrimp order. And the man asked her if that was hers and pointed to her to-go box. She looked at him and said yes. He handed her $5 and she asked him why. And he said, I ate one of your shrimps. It was really delicious.
So this dude, hold on.
He was a little old man. Little
So-
old man stuck his hand in his to-go box.
Just that was sitting out.
Yep.
On the ledge.
Yep.
Like
He was just,
like it was a free sample plate at Publix.
But he had to open the container.
Well, that's how you keep your free samples warm.
Yeah. And
Obviously.
just took it.
Wow.
But at least he paid her.
I mean, and honestly, from a food cost standpoint, if you only ate one and paid her
She
$5,
came out on top.
she totally did because
Yeah,
she
'cause
paid
she got a
employee
discount on that
pricing.
meal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck, man. All right, we got a new racket. I think we should try. And
With that.
we land the ship for episode 28 of Service Entrance People. Second thought: don't want nobody, baby.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you so much for tuning in to all of our Michigas over here. Please remember to rate and review and share our show. 5 stars. Leave a word review on whatever app you are listening to.
We know it's difficult. Sometimes you have to play around to find it, but if you Google it, they'll show you how.
Exactly. We want to say thank you to our executive producers, Chris Moore and Chuck Cumberland.
Yes, thank you, Chris Moore and Chuck Cumberland.
Plus our content producers, Chef Hope.
And Jeff Teal.
Thank you very much to all of you. Please come and join the party. Patreon.com/service entrance people. Be a producer at any level. Get free stuff. Get free access to bonus materials such as our bonus this past week, which was Jeffrey Dahmer, food critic.
You can also just do a one-time donation at PayPal at Service Entrance Peeps. Just if you don't want to make that commitment, but you feel like donating what a cup of coffee costs, that's super cool, man. We appreciate you. Or if you don't want to spend anything at all, but you still want to hear your name glowingly given at the end of our show, send us stories. You can do that by sending them to serviceentrancepeople@gmail.com. You can message us on Facebook at Service Entrance People Podcast. You can DM us at Instagram at Service Entrance People Pod.
Girl, who all up in your DM?
Hopefully people who love this podcast.
I hope so.
Or if you want to leave a voicemail because you just can't type it, go ahead and call us. Leave a voicemail message at 854-345-7722. 521. We would love to play your stuff over the airwaves.
Absolutely. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, which is at Service Entrance People. Closed captioning available for the hearing impaired, but also it's kind of neat. And one of these days, we're actually going to have video up there when we figure out how to do video. Exactly. Exactly. And actually, coming up, we will be doing a video thing at the very beginning of the show. We played an ad for my friend Brian Chartrand's podcast, So the Story Goes. We are actually going to be on his show at a date in the next month or two, and he will be on ours, and we're going to do it, over the video. So we will have some video content for you.
Check that out.
Awesome. And of course, next week, Wednesday, midnight, new episode of Service Entrance People, just like every Wednesday. Please make sure you are tuning in. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. I am Boomer.
And I am Pixie. Adios.